Somewhere right now, someone is sitting in a parked car outside work, hands gripping the wheel, doing a breathing exercise they learned from a 15-second video, genuinely unsure if it will do anything at all. Here is what they do not know yet. There is real science behind why that exercise might actually calm their nervous system in under a minute, and there is also a quiet reason why the meditation app on their phone, the one they paid for and barely opened, was probably never going to fix this alone. By the end of this video, you will understand which anxiety tools in 2026 are backed by real evidence, which ones are overhyped, and what burnout recovery actually requires that no app can give you. Quick ask. If honest breakdowns like this matter to you, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which anxiety tool you have actually tried, breathwork, an app, therapy, or something else entirely. I read these, and it shapes what I cover next. Let's get into it. The body before the mind. Anxiety does not start as a thought. That is the part almost nobody explains properly. It starts as a physical event, your sympathetic nervous system flooding your body with cortisol and adrenaline, your heart rate climbing, your breathing shifting higher into your chest, shallow and quick, your muscles tightening as if you are about to run from something. Your brain built this system to save your life from predators. Cannot tell the difference between a lion and an inbox with 40 unread emails. Picture it happening. Chest tight, a strange fluttering just under the ribs, thoughts speeding up and looping, hands sometimes cold even in a warm room. That is not weakness. That is a very old survival system firing exactly the way it is designed to. The problem is not that the system exists. The problem is that in 2026, it fires constantly for threats that never actually arrive. This matters because it tells you something practical. If anxiety often begins in the body, then some of the most effective tools for calming it also start in the body. Which brings us to the one you have probably seen everywhere lately. Breathwork tested properly. Breathwork went from something mostly associated with yoga studios to something clinical researchers are now running actual randomized controlled trials on, and the results in 2026 are more interesting than the hype suggests. A meta-analysis pooling multiple randomized controlled trials found breathwork produced a real, measurable reduction in stress, anxiety, and depressive symptoms compared to control groups, though the researchers were careful to describe the effect as small to moderate, not miraculous, and they explicitly warned against letting public enthusiasm outrun what the evidence actually shows. Here is where it gets specific and genuinely useful. A 2026 study tested two very short breathing techniques, cyclic sighing and box breathing, against a passive control group during real moments of acute anxiety in daily life, not a lab, actual university students in the middle of stressful situations. Both techniques produced greater reductions in anxiety than doing nothing at all in real time in under 5 minutes. That is not a theoretical benefit. That is something you can use standing in a hallway before a hard conversation. There is also a more intense version worth knowing about, and this is where nuance really matters. A 2026 randomized trial on conscious connected breathwork, a technique using continuous circular breathing without pauses, found a notably large effect size for reducing anxiety symptoms, even delivered entirely online. But researchers were clear about something important. This more intense style can bring up strong emotional or physical reactions, and people with a trauma history, panic disorder, or heart conditions are advised to approach it carefully, ideally with a trained facilitator, not alone from a random video at midnight. So the honest picture on breathwork in 2026, it is not folklore anymore, it has real clinical support, especially for quick techniques you can use in an acute moment. But like most things in this video, effect sizes are moderate, not magical, and more intense methods deserve real caution, not casual experimentation. The apps everyone downloads and almost nobody finishes. Now let's talk about the app on your phone, because this is where the story gets a little uncomfortable. Mental health and meditation apps are genuinely one of the most researched digital tools in this entire space now, and the science does say something positive. A review of trials involving thousands of adults found mindfulness apps produced measurable improvements in areas like reducing repetitive negative thinking and improving attention regulation, with effects that in several studies held up months later. Here is the catch, and it is a big one. A 2026 study surveying real-world app users found something almost every wellness brand quietly avoids putting on their landing page. Engagement is shockingly low. Most people who download these apps use them minimally, not consistently, and researchers are now saying clearly that these apps only work if you actually keep using them, which sounds obvious until you realize most people simply do not. Think about how this usually plays out. Someone downloads an app after a hard week, uses it intensely for 4 days, feels a little better. Life gets busy, the streak breaks, and the app quietly becomes another unopened icon. That is not a personal failure. That is, according to the research, the single biggest barrier the entire field is trying to solve right now. Not whether the content works, but whether anyone sticks around long enough to let it work. There is a deeper myth hiding underneath all of this too. An app is a tool for building a skill over time, not a replacement for professional care during a genuine crisis or a clinical anxiety disorder. Researchers studying this space are explicitly calling for these apps to eventually be paired with real human guidance and better safety oversight, not positioned as a standalone therapist in your pocket. If you are managing a diagnosed condition, this is general information, not personal medical advice, and a conversation with a doctor or licensed therapist matters more than any 5-star app rating. So apps are not fake. They are real, modest, evidence-supported tools that only work if the follow-through happens, which is the exact same problem as a gym membership nobody uses. Burnout, the word everyone uses and almost nobody understands. Now we arrive at something bigger than a single stressful moment. Burnout. Here is a detail that surprises people. Burnout is formally recognized by the World Health Organization, but specifically as an occupational phenomenon, resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. Notice what that definition does not say. It does not say burnout is simply being tired. It describes 3 very specific dimensions: exhaustion so deep that rest does not seem to touch it, a growing mental distance or cynicism toward your work, and a creeping sense that nothing you do actually matters or works anymore. That third piece is the one people miss most. Burnout is not just physical fatigue. It is a kind of quiet erosion of meaning, where tasks that used to feel manageable start to feel pointless, and your own competence starts to feel like it is slipping, even when objectively it is not. Picture someone who used to answer emails within minutes now staring at their inbox, fully capable, simply unable to make themselves start. Recovery from that state is where the honest truth gets uncomfortable, because it contradicts almost everything marketed as a quick fix. Breathing exercises help regulate an anxious nervous system in a moment. They do not resolve a chronic mismatch between what a job demands and what a person can sustainably give. A meditation app can build present moment awareness. It cannot change an unsustainable workload, a toxic team dynamic, or a complete lack of boundaries between work and rest. Real burnout recovery research keeps pointing toward the same uncomfortable answer. Structural change matters as much as personal coping skills, sometimes more. That might mean an actual reduction in hours or responsibilities. It might mean confronting a work culture that treats constant availability as normal. It might mean therapy focused specifically on rebuilding a sense of meaning, not just managing symptoms day to day. None of that fits neatly into a 10-minute morning routine, and that is exactly why it gets left out of most burnout content online. Where this actually leaves you, here is how all 3 of these pieces fit together, because none of them were ever meant to work alone. Breathwork is your fastest tool for an acute spike, the racing heart before a meeting, the tight chest in a hard conversation. It works in minutes, and 2026 research increasingly backs that up, especially for quick, simple techniques. Mental health apps are your slower background tool, useful for gradually training your attention and thought patterns over weeks, but only if you treat them like a skill you are building, not a purchase you already made. And burnout recovery is the deepest layer, the one that asks harder questions about your actual life, your workload, your environment, and sometimes requires real structural change or professional support, not just another technique. The honest, slightly unsatisfying truth about anxiety and burnout in 2026 is this: there is no single fix, and anyone selling you one thing as the complete answer is skipping the nuance the actual research keeps landing on. What the evidence does support is layering, a quick regulation tool for the moment, a consistent practice for the weeks, and honest structural change for the months and years, all working together instead of one magic app or one breathing trick doing all the work by itself. If any part of this made you look at your own stress a little differently, subscribe, because we are going to keep pulling apart the wellness claims everyone repeats but almost nobody actually explains. I will see you in the next one.